Mr. Chair, I rise today to offer my amendment number 91 to reduce the salary of Council on Environmental Quality, CEQ Chair Brenda Mallory to $1. Mr. Chair, I've spoken numerous times on this floor about the dangerous rule proposed by the Federal Acquisition Regulation, FAR Council, entitled Federal Acquisition Regulation, Disclosure of Greenhouse Gas Emissions and the Climate-Related Financial Risk. This disastrous rule proposed by the FAR Council has numerous constitutional, national security, and practical concerns, none of which have been adequately addressed by the FAR Council. However, as part of the Science, Space, and Technology Committee's ongoing investigation into the basis for this rule, it was uncovered that the CEQ, which does not possess rulemaking abilities, pushed the FAR Council to implement its radical agenda and publish this rule. First and foremost, this rule requires that all federal contractors who do business with worth more than $50 million with the federal government must disclose Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions. This rule also seeks to require major federal contractors to comply with the Paris Climate Accords, which have never even been ratified by the Senate. But the most objectionable part of this rule is the requirement that companies set climate targets and then have them validated by one specifically named company called Science-Based Targets Initiative, or SBTI. SBTI is a foreign, not American, foreign London-based company which inherently carries national security concerns. Under this rule, every major federal contractor, including companies critical to our national security and our defense industrial base, would have to provide this foreign-owned company with information about all of their Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions and then strategize on how to reduce them. Despite the existence of numerous American-based companies that could fill the same role, the FAR Council and CEQ chose a foreign company as the sole source provider. Why? Let's get into this. Because SBTI is nothing but a front for Democratic donors and advocacy groups. SBTI is owned by the We Mean Business Coalition, which is a project of the New Venture Fund, which is managed by the dark money super PAC known as Arabella Advisors. Arabella Advisors, for those who don't know, is the George Soros-funded left-wing advocacy group that funnels dark money into left-wing causes and candidates. To summarize, the Biden administration has named a subsidiary of one of their top donors, a left-wing dark money organization, as the sole source provider for all climate target validating for all major federal government contractors. During a hearing in the Science, Space, and Technology Committee on this rule, even the Democrat witness said that SBTI was a poor choice for this role, yet CEQ and FAR Council forged ahead anyway. No federal bureaucrat should be mandating that companies funnel money into the Democrats' dark money operations. This is the very definition of corruption. As the head of CEQ, Brenda Mallory played an integral role in pushing for this rule. Her salary must be defunded. I look forward to working with Chairman Lucas, Chairman Obernolte, and all of my colleagues on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee to expose the corruption behind this proposed rule and halt its finalization and implementation. Mr. Chair, I urge all of my colleagues to support this amendment, and with that, I reserve.
Gentlewoman reserves. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Maine seek recognition? Gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I oppose this amendment and I yield back.
Gentlewoman yields back. Gentlewoman from New York is recognized.
I just urge my colleagues to support this amendment and I yield.